What's up, everyone? It's Adam from FWCI. Welcome to World Wrestling Straya. It's going to be a quick one this week, but we got a whole ton of Aussie stuff to get to from NXT, a few other bits and pieces as well. This is World Wrestling Straya, episode 46.
G'day mates. Well, I reckon this is it.
So this episode's basically going to be one big Aussie wrestler watch, so as we always do, we're going to start it off with the Nightmare on Raw, Rhea Ripley. Rhea basically just had a goofy backstage segment with Nikki ASH where they walk past John Morrison and he's meditating and he's talking about his chi, and then they walk up and say, "Do you know what he said?" "I have no idea." It kind of made him look a little bit dumb because I kind of followed what John Morrison was talking about. The comedy for Rhea Ripley is not doing it for me, and I hope the swift and brutal heel turn on Nikki ASH is, closer rather than further away. Over on SmackDown, it was Indy Hartwell and Persia Pirotta teaming up to defeat Saray and Amari Miller in a tag team match. This would then bring out some of the rest of the women's tag team division to have a little bit of a showdown as well, but interesting to see Persia and Indy teaming up so soon and getting the win as well, which was great to see. We had Aussie on Aussie action. I don't know the last time this would have happened other than Toni Storm versus Rhea Ripley. Maybe Murphy versus one of the TM61 boys, maybe, but we had two Aussies in the ring. It was Grayson Waller versus Duke Hudson. Hudson would pick up the win, which was interesting to see. Grayson Waller, I'm starting to really warm to him as a babyface. The match was fantastic. You can see that they had a bit of chemistry, and I don't know, I'd like to see more of this feud, to be honest. I hope this isn't a one and done, and I hope we get to see more Grayson Waller and Duke Hudson. Waller would also be backstage and give some dating advice to Cameron Grimes, teaching him about internet dating and swipe left. And Cameron Grimes, apparently, even though he's a billionaire, not that up to date with what's going on with smartphones. So another great segment with Grayson Waller. The Inspiration, Jessica McKay and Cassie Lee, will be debuting in Impact Wrestling on October 23rd, which the date in the USA, it'll be the day after here. And they're going to be challenging for the Knockouts women's tag team titles against Rosemary and Havoc, who are known as Decay. This is huge news. Finally, we know where the Inspiration is going to land. I think this is a fantastic fit. These two are definitely going to look like superstars on the Impact roster. Impact has been pretty good with its women's division, to be honest. I mean, there's, you say what you say about Impact, but I think adding these two to that division adds a lot, and I can't wait to see Jessica McKay with a microphone in her hand on TV once again, and Cassie Lee as well. We had Zion Quinn defeating Malik Blade in a bit of a clunky match, to be honest. It was designed to be a squash match to get Zion over, and it did to a degree, but he's still very green. He needs a few more reps and get some more matches, which is why he's in NXT at the moment. But with all that being said, I'm sure Vince McMahon is in love with Zion Quinn, to be completely honest, and I think Zion's very safe. Even though he's still learning, he's still in a great spot on the NXT roster. And friend of the show, Adam Brooks, adds another championship to his recently acquired championship belt collection that he's got going on. He is the first ever RCW Emerald Crown champion, defeating Chris Basso. This was after a tournament that's been going on. This adds to his Southern Territory championship that he won in Perth 2 weeks ago. And of course, the MCW championship that he took from Slex all the way back in November 2019. This makes his title reign over 700 days and makes it the longest reigning MCW champion in history. Obviously, we had a pandemic in the middle of that, but the facts are the facts. Brooksy is the champ, no matter what state you're from.
Well, Nakamura has swiped the crown again. Setting Corbin.
And a quick Better Than Baron Corbin this week. This is the segment where we have a look at what's going on with old mate Baron, because we love to hate him and see who had a better week than he did. Baron had a bit of a talk show segment with Madcap Moss. They're making a bunch of bad jokes, and then they were interrupted by Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura. No, can't do it. Kind of a silly segment, whatever, it is what it is. But Ivy Nile on NXT had an absolutely amazing match. I mean, I was so impressed with Ivy Nile. She's been, just kind of standing there with the group, and, we've not really seen her. She's very, very muscular, so there was always the, thought or concern that maybe she's more, too muscular to do this kind of thing. Sometimes people that have that kind of frame are a bit slower or not quite as quick or agile as somebody who's a bit more nimble, but she's fantastic. I have absolutely no criticisms of her at all. She definitely does look like a young Beth Phoenix. Wade Barrett hit it right on the head. And by the way, Barrett and Phoenix, fantastic team on commentary. I love everything they say every week. But Ivy Nile looked like $1 million. The Diamond Mine is looking like $1 million. I think they're going to have to get Roderick Strong out, because I'm digging everybody in that group except Roddy Strong at the moment. But that was a fantastic debut for Ivy Nile, and I'm looking forward to more from her. And that's why she's this week's Better Than Baron Corbin.
Oh, finally got the tap. Unbelievable.
So this week's You Gotta Be Joking Me is the Queen's Crown tournament. I mean, last week the You Gotta Be Joking Me was Toni Storm getting knocked out in 2 minutes. This week it's just the entire tournament. The bracket, the way the matches have been going on, who it's looking like, where it's gonna be decided. It's a very inauspicious debut for this tournament, and WWE usually likes to, add a lot of pomp and circumstance to the first ever blah blah blah. I don't know what they're going to do to make the final of this tournament memorable, but they've completely shit the bed on everything so far. Can you imagine if this tournament had... what's Rhea Ripley been doing the last couple of weeks? Nothing. Why is she not in the tournament? Why is Nikki not in the tournament? Sasha Banks, okay, she's in a feud. Why not put her in the tournament and have somebody, interrupt, or Bianca Belair comes out and whatever it is. You could have incorporated so many more of the stories going on in the women's division into a tournament of, superstars, but instead, I don't know, they've just gone this very dated route where they're just giving these 2-minute matches. They're really not paying much attention to who's, in what. And so far it's been a complete disappointment. And that's why it's this week's You Gotta Be Joking Me.
You gotta be joking me.
And I don't like having a You Gotta Be Joking Me without following up with a bit of positivity, so let's have a look at this week's You Beauty.
You beauty. You beauty.
So as I mentioned earlier in the show, the Inspiration getting the Knockout Tag Team Championship title match in their debut in Impact Wrestling. That's a huge You Beauty in my book. Impact are already treating them like big stars, and so they should. The Inspiration, or the Iconics as they were called, have had a huge amount of support online as well since they were released from their WWE contract. Everybody was saying how stupid it was to break them up and this and that. So the Iconics, or the Inspiration now, are definitely on track for a big babyface run in Impact Wrestling, and I'm curious to see how that goes. I would almost like to see them drop the hammer and make them heel, but the fact that we're getting them in the title picture from the very first match, hopefully they win it. That's a huge You Beauty. So hit the stinger.
You beauty. You beauty.
And a quick little Jonah Twitter check-in as well. Jonah's got a guest coming up on the Jonah Drome. So he tweeted out this: just wrapped up speaking with my guest from Jonah Drome this week. Guess who? He's Australian, not a pro wrestler, has been around it, but has a show on Netflix. He's got to be talking about... there's probably only way to tell you who he's got to be talking about. It's got to be bloody Broden from Auntie Donna. So I'm very keen to see that interview and hear what Jonah and Broden are going to talk about. If it's even Broden, we'll have to wait and see.
Is it me you're looking for?
Bring it.
And that's going to wrap it up, everyone. Thanks for checking out this episode of World Wrestling Straya. I know it's been a short one, but man, we still got through a lot of information. Go check out NBA Straya if you like your basketball. The season's starting pretty damn soon. Jimmy's about to get back to almost daily episodes, week daily episodes anyway. So if you like your basketball and you like your Straya, go give that one a look. It's a fantastic podcast. And if you're in the Aussie collecting community as well, go check out the Wrestling with Figs podcast from Chris and James. That's all tied in with the Figs Down Under Facebook group as well. If you want to ask me a question down in the comments, I'll get to it on the next show. Just use the hashtag #YeahNah. I'll make sure I don't miss it. And as always, everyone, be well, stay safe, look after your friends. See you in the next video. Peace.